You're listening to the Patriot Nation podcast.
All right, welcome into another edition of the Patriot Nation podcast, a proud member of the CLNS group of podcasts. As always, make sure you download and subscribe to all of those shows for great Patriots content all week. Tonight, however, it's the Patriot Nation show with you guys, Pat Lane, and my guy, Matt St. Jean. Matt, here we are, another weekend, and is anyone gambling? Yeah, you know what? Here's what I will tell you. If you're gambling on this show and you're picking the over-under on the time we're going to be here, always pick the over. All right. I know you lose money every time you gamble, but that's one that they won't have. Like we'll hit it every time.
Pat, when I was like 2-3 years old, something like that, like I'm in kindercare doing like hooked on phonics age. Yeah. I remember coming home from school one day in tears. My mom was asking me, like, what happened? Like, what's wrong? And someone said I was too talkable. It's been this way since birth.
Same, bro. Same. Yep. It's just the way it goes. That's just, we just like to talk. It's the way it is,
True.
So, but oh my God. Yeah. It's, this is a whole, all right, let's not even get into the betting thing. Maybe we could talk about that later, but holy shnikes.
Yeah. That was quite a story to read this morning.
Pretty unbelievable. Yeah. Terry Rozier kind of, and what, the craziest part is the NBA knew. The NBA knew about it and swept it on the rug. Have you heard this report? The NBA knew and just had guys stop playing. And they were like, no, you just can't play the rest of the year. Right. It's like, oh, we'll just go away. There won't be an FBI investigation or anything.
Before we move on, my favorite part of this whole thing is that some random guy had posted like on Reddit like 3 years ago, 2 years ago about how he knew about like the illegal gambling, like rigged poker or whatever scheme like years ago.
Yeah.
Love it when that happens. And there's the random Twitter accounts that were like calling this in like 2023. It's like, all right.
So I'm posting a podcast clip from 2023 talking about,
Well, I think the podcast clip's from 2023, but didn't he say that he heard about it in 2019?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, bro. This is going on since pre-COVID.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. So, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the Patriots. The QB school, I thought, did a great breakdown. I don't know if he's going to be able to do breakdowns anymore, but he did a great breakdown on Drake May. And I thought one of the things that was really interesting that he talked about, obviously Drake May goes 21 for 23, right? Has 2 incompletions, incredible day. I thought one of the things that he brought up, which I thought was a fascinating place to start today, was that he was concerned that Drake May took off a little bit too much, that he didn't let plays develop, that he – I think he called it one and run a few times where he just looked at one read and then took off running. And Drake May is really good with his legs, and he's a very good runner. However, he's an exceptionally good passer. And so we have to protect him, and he has to protect himself as well. So, yeah, do we want him running the ball? Sure. I don't want him running the ball 15 times a game. And I certainly don't want him putting himself in harm's way like he did on Sunday. And so there has to be some balance between the amount of times he runs and which obviously, again, is good, but then also the amount of times that, that he stands in the pocket and goes through another read and, and gets a pass off.
I'm so glad you're starting here, Pat, because I 100% agree. It's crazy to come away from a game where a guy goes 21 of 23 and been like, he could have played better. Right. But like that was my exact feeling watching the tape. And first of all, one of the things that made Drake May such an appealing prospect is the fact that on all of those, it could have been better at plays. He's still like picking up yards and moving the chains. Like that's the plus side, is that he can still make your team better and take it to there's levels to this. But like I was going to write an article about it this week. I just didn't have time to finish it. So I guess I'll give my spiel on here instead. You go to PFF. They break down stats by passing depth. So you can look at how far quarterbacks throwing down the field and how good they are at it. And Drake May's profile here by PFF, 99.9 grade on throws 20 or more yards down the field. Perfect grade. The only other quarterback who has a perfect grade right now is Sam Darnold. He has a perfect passer rating on throws 20 plus yards down the field, which Sam Darnold does not have. He is, without a doubt, the most efficient quarterback in the NFL down the field. Now, this is among all quarterbacks who've taken a pass, so there's a lot of them. But he ranks. He ranks 39th of 59 quarterbacks that have thrown at least one ball this season in how often he attempts down the field. Only 8.9% of his throws are 20 or more yards. For comparison, his last year at UNC, it was like 19%.
Yeah.
Were attacking down the field. What this tells me, if you were going to do like the clickbait headline, it's that Drake May needs to be more reckless. But that, I think, is what these numbers are telling you. He's really good at attacking down the field, in part because he's really selective about it. Yeah. And he picks his spots. I think what we're seeing, he's just so good at it. You got to whatever that filter is in his brain that determines whether or not he should take that throw down the field. You got to pull it one notch down. The bar for throwing it down the field's got to be a little bit lower because he can do it. He's really freaking good at it. And it's, if his passer rating drops a little and his PFF grade on these throws drops to a 94 instead of a 99.9, he's still going to be, ridiculously efficient. And you're going to have, instead of a 4-yard scramble where his head's hitting the turf, you're going to have a 29-yard completion.
Right. Well, that's what it comes down to, right? Is that, get a little bit more aggressive and throw the ball down the field a little bit more. He's extremely good at placing the ball down the field. And so I think I'm okay with him pushing the ball down the field a little bit more. Now, again, do I'm doing it 6, 7 times a game? Maybe not. But, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times a game. Push the ball down the field a little bit. We've been incredibly successful with it. Kayshon Boutte is a phenomenal deep receiver.
Kayshon Boutte has been legitimately good this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not so just contested catches. He's getting
that's the other part of it. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's one of those things where I just think I'm with you. Get a little bit more aggressive and go from there. But I honestly, you're right, though. It is funny to see him go 21 to 23. Everyone's talking about how great he played, and you're like, well, he played really well, but he also could have played a little better. And I think that, to me, that's a sign of where Drake May is and where he's grown, right? Because if he had a game like this last year, everyone would be like, oh, my God, Drake May is incredible. He's like the next coming. And he's really turning a corner, really becoming that guy. And now we're saying, yep, we've seen that from him already, but we can fix this, this, and this as well, And that's maybe even more exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think this week could be a good week to turn the dial that direction because it's the Browns defense that, generally speaking, with Jim Schwartz, they want to play man coverage, they want to play cover 1, they might blitz you. They're going to put their corners on an island and bet that they can win. And obviously, Drake May is going to need his receivers to win those matchups. But that means that you're going to have opportunities over the top against the Browns. And they have a great pass rush. The Patriots offensive line can have a good day, and the pressure's still going to get there on you. Cleveland also has Carson Schlesinger at linebacker, who is a really good athlete. He's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he is fantastic. And he can spy Drake May. He's athletic enough to do it. So I think Cleveland can get home and contain May and play man coverage on the outside. I'm going to guess that's what they're going to try to do. And if that's what they come out and do, they're going to have to sit in the pocket, make quick decisions, and attack down the field. And I know he can do that. It's just, I think the question in this game against what PFF says is the best defense in the NFL right now is, can you do it consistently enough without turning the ball over to score?
Right. Right. And that to me is the question, right? And we'll see if remains to be seen whether he can or not. I think that he can, and I think that it makes sense to do it. It does. I don't know. It worries me a little bit, but I also think too, this is the team to do it against. Like, I know that they have an exceptionally good pass rush, but if the Browns have a terrible offense, and we'll get into the Browns a little bit. They have a terrible offense. If you can push the ball down the field a little bit and score some points, and have a few X plays, that could change the entire trajectory of the game, and that could change.
You hit one of those, and that might win you the game because the Browns might not score a touchdown on Sunday. So if you can get one, that might be all you need.
Right, it's true. All the way. Also, yes, I did say 6-7. That is true. Nelson checking in as well. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, well, we'll talk about the Browns in a second, but I think that's where I think that's what we're looking for from Drake May. Can we see a little bit more from him? Better decision making in regards to protecting himself. I think that's the biggest question. And it's we'll see. The next thing, and Nikhil had said this. We have Will Campbell on an island this week. I hope not. I don't know what we'd be thinking. I think Will Campbell's looked very good. I've been happy about Will Campbell, and Phil Perry mentioned it on him and Tommy Curran show. But we haven't really talked about Will Campbell much this year, which I think is a great thing because he hasn't shown up a ton. Now he hasn't been like the best player on the field, but he also hasn't been a liability out there. He still has some growing to do. He hasn't been perfect. He gave up a sack in the last game, and had some plays that weren't great, but I do think that overall he's played pretty well. That being said, I might give him a few reps alone with Myles Garrett, but not many. I'm chipping Myles Garrett every time we go by. And, and Nikhil's saying he's been blocking NPCs. I don't know about that, but he certainly hasn't faced anyone the talent of Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett gives
there's not many.
Well, that's the thing.
There's not many who have that.
Right. He is the best in the league.
And I think that's kind of your concern. One of your concerns in this game. You look at Will Campbell's like blocking grades or whatever. His worst game of the year is against Pittsburgh and Nate Herbig.
Nick. I think it's Nick Herbig.
Yeah.
Could be Nate. I'm not sure.
He brings speed. And that was an issue.
Yep.
Myles Garrett has everything. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Myles Garrett over Will Campbell on passing downs because I bet they're going to try to get him over the center. They like to do that with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
But whether it's Myles Garrett or Mason Graham is playing in Cleveland and he has been playing well. Malik Collins is a good player for them too.
Yeah.
As a rusher, and when you got guys like that, like Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, Shelby Harris, or some of the other guys in this pass rushing group, and like they'll all flash because they're all going to get one-on-ones because everyone else is getting the attention.
Right.
And that you need Will Campbell to, when he's not getting Myles Garrett, you need him to lock down those one-on-ones because those will be one-on-ones. And if there's blitzes, if they're bringing games at you, you need them to be solid. I did think the game last week was a step back for Will Campbell, which is fine. It's not going to be perfect. Progress isn't linear, but like one of the best throws Drake May made all day, right before his cover 2 beater to Mac Hollins, is his cover 2 beater to Keyshawn Boutte, where he's getting stepped on by Will Campbell because Campbell gets pushed back into his lap. And that might happen on Sunday with Myles Garrett, but like limit the damage.
Right.
This is, if you get to 20 points on offense, you're winning this game. So you don't need perfection. You don't have to go out there and score 40. Just like what he said before, to die slow. Give May an opportunity to get the ball out, and don't allow strip sacks. Don't let May get hit while he's throwing the ball, where it might turn into a pick or a bad play or something like that. Just try to keep things, under control.
Well, to your point, the Browns before playing the dumpster fire that is the Miami Dolphins last week, they had gone 21 straight weeks without scoring more than 17 points. So they just don't score a lot of points. They never have. They just don't. And so if you can score 20, it's basically an auto win if you score 20 against the Browns. And, that's assuming you're not turning the ball over like crazy and everything else. But, if you can play a decent game and not turn the ball over and not kill yourself, You score 20 points and you win. And I think that's really what it comes down to. And look, it's not the I'm not going to say the Patriots can easily do that because I think the Browns have an exceptionally good defense. But I think the Patriots certainly have an ability to do that. We've seen that. And so I am cautiously optimistic that they can do that. So we'll see.
In the Browns last week, they only had 2 drives over 50 yards. I was watching the tape of this, which I felt like a real sicko for watching the tape of that Dolphins-Browns game. That was awful. They had 2 decent drives all day. And one of them was heavily aided by penalties, and then you got a roughing the passer. There was an incompletion on 3rd and 14, and you get an illegal contact on it. It's only a 5-yard penalty, but it gives you the first down. Miami's defense, you got roughing the passer, 1 decent play to Jerry Jeudy, 1 decent run from Quinshon Judkins, and you're able to get a field goal out of it, and then another drive where you started deep in your own end, and you have how many yards is this? A 14-yard defensive pass interference on 3rd down, and then a 46-yard Quinshon Judkins rushing touchdown. And that was the game. That was it right there. Then you add in a defensive score, and you punch one in from the 2 after a turnover too, and it's like Cleveland's offense did not score 31 points. Cleveland's offense scored probably like 17 points, and the rest was like penalties and defense. I mean, maybe even less. You could argue Cleveland's offense really scored like 10 points in this game, and the rest of it was Miami just totally falling apart.
Yeah.
So it's the message on offense has got to be just play clean. They're going to try to muck it up. There's going to be bad moments. Browns defense is good, and it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. But just have 3 drives at the end of the day where you're like, all right, I felt really good about that. We're able to
right, and if you score touchdowns on all 3 of those, and you win the game. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And it's really not. And I guess Nikhil's asking the question: Dylan Gabriel or Cam Ward. I mean, I don't know. I guess Cam Ward, right? But right now, it doesn't matter. Dylan Gabriel doesn't scare me, right? Even Quinshon Judkins doesn't really scare me that much. It's more so the defense.
Can I give you a Dylan Gabriel stat here?
Let's hear it.
His average depth of target is 6.1 yards, which is one of the lowest marks in the NFL. Drake May has been checking it down a lot this year, is over 8. And his average depth of target last week in the win was 4.7 yards. The Browns offense does not threaten down the field whatsoever. So, but bringing it back to the offense. You don't have to win the game on offense. You're just trying not to lose it. Basically.
Trying not to lose it. That's all. Yep, I agree with you. So,
and I'd roll May out a lot in this game. If you're going to see a lot of man coverage, roll him out because he can run and just get him away from Myles Garrett. The more plays you have where Myles Garrett is not if you can do those, heck, if you can roll out in the direction of Myles Garrett and have it be one of those plays where it's the tight end and the running back or 2 tight ends together on Garrett, and they just have to block him for a couple seconds and you got a quick option out of it. Then it's all right, well, that can happen. And then the rest of the offensive line gets to deal with the rest of the stuff the Browns have going.
Right.
Make life a little easier for you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Get him out of the pocket, get him, away from guys and make everyone's life a little bit easier. You know what I mean? And I think too, especially if Garrett likes to line up on the offense's left, if you're rolling out to the right, you're rolling away from Myles Garrett. Now that means Myles Garrett gets to chase you down, but you're just asking Will Campbell to hold him back for a second and a half. That's enough time for you because he's got to run all the way to the other side of the field. So I think that to me makes it too easy. So my God, the Vikings are just so bad. Flag on the defense, 1st and goal. I think, and this is going to be holding on the offense. Looks like it's going to be, flag on the defense. Anyways,
I want to look at the back end of this Browns defense for a second. First, their 2 safeties, Ronnie Hickman and Grant Delpit. I think those are their starters. Yeah.
Hickman's from Ohio State. Is Hickman a rookie from Ohio State?
I don't think he's a rookie, but I do think he is from Ohio State.
Or maybe he's a second year.
Third year.
Third year, jeez, my God,
Yeah.
It's been a while.
He's been good in coverage for them.
I liked him coming out.
Yeah, according to PFF, Grant Delpit was a guy who he came at LSU and that's his 5th year in the league and best seasons. He's just kind of steadily gotten better with each season.
Yeah,
good in that scheme. He's a solid player, good tackler. Outside, it's Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, two good corners. Denzel Ward's very good. I will say, reading Evan Lazar, what he had to say, the Browns play a lot of base defense. So they want to play like I think it's their 4-3 defense is what they play.
Right.
4-3 over fronts. And I don't know, I see that. What they like to do, my first thought is to get them uncomfortable, go like 5 wide to start the game and just try to get them back on their heels with something that they're not used to playing.
I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. I think that makes a ton of sense from a Patriots perspective. And again, make them uncomfortable. Make them either go to the nickel or force them to get to a situation where they have to, cover a linebacker on a tight end or a linebacker on a wide receiver. And, make those guys get on a space. Now, I believe Schlesinger can do it. I think Schlesinger's awesome.
Very
guys in the draft this year.
player.
I love him.
He's got that combination of processing speed and actual speed that just kind of allows him to be where the ball is going to be before it gets there, especially in the run defense. I think running to the outside against Cleveland is difficult because he's just so good at covering up that ground. He worries me in this one in large part because, all right, you like to throw underneath a lot. May likes to run a lot. And these are areas where he's going to be involved in what's going on. And he's good.
Yep. I agree. So, you got anything else before the break, or do you want to take a?
Well, for their roster going through, they traded for Tyson Campbell.
They traded. Who did they trade?
I forget.
Did they
that
trade
was like
Newsome?
A football trade, though. Oh wait, did they trade Newsome?
I think they traded Newsome for Campbell.
Did I totally botched that? I was just looking at snaps played this year. Yeah, they 100% did. Yeah. So forget what I said about Greg Newsome.
Tyson Campbell instead. Just insert Tyson Campbell because he's a good corner too. Yeah,
and that was just like wanting to change the scenery there. And Miles Harden's their nickel. He is athletic. I remember him coming out. He was a 7th rounder last year. Tyson Campbell is also he's a press man corner. I think the most interesting thing for me in this game, other than Drake May, is that I think in terms of just man coverage ability, this is probably the toughest secondary that the Patriots have played this year. This will be the first real test where it's like this team probably thinks that they can sit in man coverage and beat you. Can't. I feel good about Stephon Diggs in that environment, but like Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, Pop Douglas, guys who are less proven in that environment, I think.
Yeah.
How do they do?
I will say about Mac Hollins, people hated on Mac Hollins big time, and he's been more than good in my opinion.
Super solid
for the Patriots. Done exactly what they wanted him to do.
I said at the time when people were hating on him, if this was the type of guy that was signed in the Brady era, everyone would love the signing as a culture guy and a guy who can just get a fit with the quarterback. And Hollins just is easy to throw to. He is a big target and he comes back to the ball and he catches it. And and he's a good blocker. So
he's a good 4th receiver for you, and that's all they were looking for because I think that they knew what they had in Kayshon Boutte. I think that maybe not to this level, but I think that they were trusting the fact that they believed Kayshon Boutte could be a number 2 receiver for them. And if that's the case, and then maybe you thought Pop Douglas was going to be good in the slot, and Pop has been better since the Pittsburgh game. He's been better, but he's still not getting a ton of snaps. He shouldn't be getting a ton of snaps. But to me, Mac Hollins is doing exactly what they want him to do. He's never going to be, he's never going to be a fantasy football guy or anything like that. It doesn't matter. That's not why he's here. We don't care about what the numbers look like for him. We care about that he's a great blocker and then he gets open and catches the ball when you want him to. Does that mean he only has 2 or 3 catches a game? Maybe. Who cares? We don't care about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he's he's a possession receiver. I will say, going back to Booty real quick, I was so dead wrong on him. And my biggest area of skepticism with him was basically that he had injury in college, and 18 months later at the combine, testing like he had not recovered from that injury.
Yeah.
And talked about how he didn't take the recovery seriously. And my question was basically like, all right, if everything was perfect from this moment on, are you still never going to be the player you were supposed to be because the damage is already done with not rehabbing this properly? Like, and his testing was like bad. Like his agilities were very bad. And there's a couple moments on tape this week and the week before where you look at his acceleration on just like a go route, on a clear out route.
Yeah.
He looks like Kyle Williams out there where he's burning dudes.
It's true.
You add that, like he's stemming the routes really well. He's super savvy. He catches the ball. Like he did not always have the best hands, but that has come together for him. He's catching the ball now. He got like he dropped the ball last year. That was an issue for him. Now he's catching everything. He had 5 drops last year. 5 from the guy who's become like our contested catching demon this season. So real shout out to him, the work that he has done on himself and on his game to get to this point, because like we're talking about trading for receivers. We might already have the guy we're looking for here, at least as a compliment to Stephon Diggs.
Well, and that's the way I feel about him. And you know, it's him being open after the Saints game about, you know, some of the stuff that he went through and the immaturity and things like that. And I think that shows a lot of growth and shows a lot from a guy that, you know, they expect a lot from. And this is very much a culture of leadership and accountability. And I think that, you know, he kind of embodies what they're looking for there. I couldn't be happier on what we're seeing from Keishawn Boutte. It's been awesome. So
he has been. And that's going back to the top. We're talking about Drake May throwing the ball deep. I mean, they really need one deep shot to Keishawn Boutte every single game minimum.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at running the routes. You feel good about his odds of catching it. I think you feel really good about the odds of it just like not being a bad play. Like I do think the worst case there is going to be an incompletion. And if you're throwing that consistently and defenses have to respect it, like, oh boy, I think he just stretches the field so much.
Well, and that's the big thing is that if you can, you know, if he is really good at those hole shots and really good at contested catches, and then you're going to throw him deep once or twice a game too, that becomes a very, very hard guy to stop.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, that really just kind of comes down to, you know, this could be, I don't want to say offensive, you know, changing the offense, but I think that, you know, he's become a big part of why this offense looks so good. And I think, you know, it's been a disappointment with Kyle Williams for sure. I hope that him and Drake May can get on the same page at some point. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I hope that him and Drake May can get on the same page at some point. Well, because it's just not there right now. You know,
Kyle Williams is just not that good of a route runner right now.
Right.
And he gets open he can stretch the field, but for a lot of the other things, it's just not there. And the timing's not there with him. Hopefully that comes. I think if the Patriots were in a different spot right now, we might be doing the thing where I'm comparing Kyle Williams and Jalen Noel on here, especially given Jalen Noel on Monday Night Football this week.
Yep.
But I'm going to refrain from that because things are going well and I want to keep the vibes up.
Yes. And Noel, I think, has been fine. I don't think he's been like incredible, but I think he's been fine
he has produced. I think the real one, like Luther Burden too, I think has been pretty efficient for the Bears.
Yeah.
But like I feel good about the Patriots receiving room right now.
Right. And that's ultimately what it comes down to is that, you know, you look at it and say, not that we don't need anything else, but we can't be that upset about it because of where they're at, you know, and I think that ultimately.
I think you could win a Super Bowl with this receiving core.
Yeah.
We'll see how I feel after Sunday. If we see a lot of man coverage and that's an issue, I'm going to take that back. But right now, they kind of look like they could. And I think it's 3 things. It's 1, Stephon Diggs playing like a number 1. Mm-hmm. That helps you. Even if it's the low end 1. You know, I don't know how we want to rank him there, but he's playing like a 1.
Right.
Keishawn Boutte's development to give you a legitimate number 2 next to him. And just the fact that Drake May is who he is. Like, the field is stretched in a way it hasn't been for New England in a long time, and that just makes life easier for everyone else. There are holes to sit in. There's plays extended where you can, you know, run somewhere and make plays on it. There's just a lot more opportunities for guys to actually make plays in advantageous situations. Because if the trickle-down effect of Stephon Diggs and Drake May getting better and having a good offensive coordinator, you can get by with these guys.
Yeah. Well, I think too that, May is hitting the open guys. You know what I mean? He's not picking on one guy in particular. He's hitting open guys and making some really solid plays. And I think that, that brings the floor up for everyone,
Oh, it 100% does.
So, all right, you want to do an ad read and then we'll continue?
Let's do it.
All right, this ad, of course, for Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into real money. The #1 daily fantasy sports app on the web. Make sure you get and download the Prize Picks app. I was 2 for 2 last weekend. Never happens, but I was 2 for 2 last weekend. Crushed them both. And Prize Picks is the only app that now offers stacks, which means that you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Again, you can pick more on Drake May for passing yards and for passing touchdowns and for rushing yards, and you could hit all 3 of them. How about that? Also, you can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. One of my favorite things about Prize Picks as well is that you can mix and match different sports. So you want to have a few football guys and a baseball guy, maybe World Series right now. You want to have a baseball guy. You want to have a hockey guy or a basketball guy. You could do that too. So you could do all of those things. What you're going to do is download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in lineups. Now, my lineup this week, if you want to tag along, my lineup this week is Jerry Jeudy, less than 43.5 receiving yards, Kayshon Boutte, more than 28.5 receiving yards. That seems very low. And Christian McCaffrey, more than 115.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Once again, download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS, and you're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, by the way, Nikhil was mentioning that he liked Schlesinger a lot in the draft. Thought he was a perfect variable guy. I loved Carson Schlesinger. I didn't think linebacker was really a need. Although I will say, if he had been available when the Patriots were drafting in the second round, I would have been pounding the table for Carson Schlesinger. But he obviously went the first pick in the second round. What are you going to do?
He'd be such a good fit for this defense too. He's just a good player, man. That's like very rare that you see guys who are like, oh yeah, this guy's he's going to be in the league 10 years. And I'm not saying that.
Right.
He's just that kind of guy.
Agreed.
That was a really good pick. It's funny. The Browns are just like, this is like not a good team, but it does feel like they kind of made a lot of good decisions. They just, the defense is so good at every level. Like, they're good at defensive tackle. They're good at defensive end. They're good at linebacker. They're good at corner. They're good at safety. There's no like weakness here. And yet the offense is made of weakness. I don't think there's two positions on offense where I'd say they're good. Everything else, they're like bottom 5 in the league, probably bottom 10.
Yeah.
They got good tight ends. They got a good running back.
Yep. And that's about it.
That's it for talent there.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. And David Njoku might not play this week either. He's been banged up. They got 2 good tight ends. Harold Vannon's been good for them. But like they are. Do you know who their starting receivers are when they put with 3 receivers out there?
I know one of them is Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Who are the other 2 bums?
Isaiah Bond.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
He's fast at least.
Yeah, and Jamari Thrash.
Oh my Lord, from Louisville?
I liked him out of Louisville, but I just don't want him as a starting receiver. It's like, all right, this guy could be like a nice like fourth wide receiver type of guy. And all that speed with Isaiah Bond is absolutely useless with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback.
100%.
Will not throw the ball.
Can't get him down the field, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the offensive line's also not good. It's Cam Robinson,
Stinks.
Their right tackle is Jack Conklin, who's hurt right now. So they've had Cornelius Lucas over there, who's old.
Yep.
Ethan Pocic at center, and then the guards, Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller. It's not a good group.
And those guys used to be really good, and I feel like they have fallen off this year.
Which
Bitonio
is
and Teller.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to like the Titans line. Like when I was looking at the Titans offensive line, it's like, oh man, like 3 of these guys are like first rounders, and the other 2 are like recognizable veteran names. It's like, all right, well the first rounders haven't been good,
Yeah.
and the guys they paid or the veterans are also not that good anymore.
Yeah.
They're older. And
bad
I feel
combination.
Like it's a lot of the same here for the Browns. So they do have your favorite player as their wide receiver 4.
Who's that?
Malachi Corley.
Oh my, that's right. Now Malachi Corley can't even crack the starting lineup. Like what? WTH? Come on, dude. Like, get it together, Malachi.
He is gonna see the ball because Dylan Gabriel can't throw the ball down the field, and they're just gonna throw a lot of quick screens. So,
Solid point.
Yeah. But like, yeah.
Not great.
There's nothing about this Browns offense threatens me. Especially the quarterback's not good and the offensive line's not good. So
that's what it comes down to. Yeah, sure. So I don't know. We'll see. By the way, I got to give a shout out here. So these are the Vikings. This guy says the Vikings are good. Their QBs are terrible. You're probably not wrong. His name is Gurton Buster. Now I don't know. It could be a coincidence. But arguably the greatest show of all time, Psych, has a character named Burton Guster. Don't know if that's intentional or not, but on the off chance it is, got to give my guy Burton Buster a shout out.
That's
Psych, one of my favorite shows of all time.
Is that Dule Hill?
Dule Hill, you're right.
Who I love him on the West Wing.
Yeah, right. He's awesome on the West Wing. It's Sean is played by James Rodriguez, who is on he's on A Million Little Things or whatever, which I think is canceled at this point now. But they have, in my personal opinion, they have the greatest on-screen chemistry of 2 people like in any show. It's awesome. It's so fun. It's an hour-long procedural police drama comedy. It's fantastic. It's so good. It's basically like you ever seen The Mentalist?
No.
Okay, so The Mentalist basically ripped them off, but he pretends to be a psychic, and they solve cases. It's awesome. It's a great show. So
it is funny. You talk about police procedural. Still have not seen The Wire, right?
I have not, which is crazy that I still.
I'm going to keep hitting you with this until eventually you get around to it.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I gotta do it.
It's a great show. But yeah, for this game, I do feel like, I worry about the opening of the game. I think if the Patriots lose this game, it's going to be some combination of like we've seen the stats this week. The Patriots have one of the worst defenses in the NFL in the first 3 possessions, and one of the best defenses in the NFL for the rest of the game.
Right.
The nightmare scenario is that continues. The Browns somehow get 2 touchdowns on their first 3 drives, and Patriots offense just isn't there yet. And now you're down 14-0, and you have to play from behind, and Myles Garrett gets the tee off on you. And all right, and now it's that's difficult, and May's not seeing things, and you get a strip sack in there, and you get a pick in there somewhere. Browns get another score out of it, and it's all right, now we're in a 3-possession hill that we got to climb here against a really, really good defense. Basically doing the Pittsburgh game again, except against a better defense. That's the nightmare scenario. So I do think one of the keys to this game is just going to be you have to start strong. You can't, none of this we're going to take our time getting off the bus stuff that we've seen on the first 7 games of the season.
And you're 100% correct on that. This is one of those games where you need to stop to start the game. Get the ball, go down and score a touchdown. And now you're up 7-0 and the game's not over. But you feel pretty good about the fact that you're off to a really good start, and it's going to be difficult for them to come back from that. So that's that to me at least, that's a huge key to this game.
You have to. You just can't play from behind against these guys. And
Right.
like if you start the game on offense with field goal, touchdown, field goal, and you're able to go up like 13-0 in the first 20 minutes of the game, it's probably over.
Correct.
You can probably be on autopilot for the rest of the game and win. And just do that. Make it a stress-free Sunday for yourself. I don't care if the game then ends 13-0. That's fine. Like
Who cares?
This is very much a win. I don't care by how much type of game. I don't care if it looks pretty. It's nice if it does, but you got two good opponents coming up. You're just coming home after a road trip. This could be a trap game situation. Just
figure it out and win the game. Exactly. Right. Come home with victory, and that's all that matters, And I think, this is the type of team that scares me. My dad actually texted me this week and said that he was nervous about this game. Yeah. This is the type of game that scares me because on paper, it's such a terrible – they're so bad offensively that you're like, how are you ever going to score? Now, the one good thing is that they scored 1 billion points last week. So all he has to do is put on the film and say, look, they scored 1 billion points last week. They're capable of doing it, And I know the film isn't great, but whatever. They scored 1 billion points last week. If you give them the game, they'll take it from you. So you just have to not give them the game. Go out and play your game, play mistake-free football, and you'll walk away with a win. Yeah,
and it's a lot of it's going to be like Quinshon Judkins is good. He's probably going to break that 50-yard running back streak the defense has, and that's fine. Just don't let him break off the 46-yard touchdown.
And that's the big thing is that, if he has 21 carries for, 63 yards or something or 68 yards or whatever, okay, he broke the 50 running back. Who cares? Yeah. We don't care about that. He's averaging, 3.5 yards a carry, and that's good enough for us, and so that's the way I look at it is that who cares about that streak? It's cool that they did it, but it's kind of irrelevant, And listen,
interesting, not important, as Mike Vrabel would say.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? There could be a situation where I would say maybe they will keep that streak alive because if you start out 7-0 and then you start out 14-0, now they have to pass the ball, and they can't do that. And so you might keep that streak alive just because you're going to be able to to actually move the ball and score, and then they're going to be forced to then throw the ball more than they are to run, And so, but again, it doesn't matter whether you keep the streak or not. It matters whether you win the game. And realistically, Quinshon Judkins isn't going to hurt you as long as he's not breaking off 45-yard touchdown runs against you.
A couple other stats that interest me here. So the Patriots only have 1 turnover since that Pittsburgh game. That was against the Bills. That was a Ramondre fumble, right? I believe.
It was.
Yep. The Browns have not turned the ball over in October. 3 straight games without a turnover.
Really?
Which I think a lot of that is that Judkins doesn't really fumble and Dylan Gabriel doesn't really take risks. So this is you're not – maybe you get a turnover in this one, but I don't think you're looking to fool them. I think you're just looking to execute. This is going to be a big rally to the ball game, and a big if you can cover up the first thing they're doing, or if you can just when they throw that bubble screen, stop it for a 1-yard gain, stop it for a 2-yard gain. You're going to be in really good shape because if they're forced to play in the 3rd and 8s, they're just not going to pick those up. You might shut them out if they're going to be in 3rd and 8 all day.
Yeah.
And like you said, outside of this past week, the Browns have been living between 13 and 17 points.
Like I said, they haven't scored over 17 in 21 straight games before last week, so they just don't do it.
Yeah. And you should be good enough on the back end. I guess one of those you could probably just play man coverage, and
that's what we said last week, and they didn't do it. I don't know.
Oh, I will say last week they did it early, and all 3 guys got burned. Which I will say, going back to it, Carlton Davis he didn't get tripped. He just stumbled on a play. I think he got tangled up with the receiver, and the receiver stayed up. Marcus Jones got burned on one where he thought he had safety help, and it's just good play design, and he's got a rookie safety back there. That's going to happen.
Yep.
Gonzalez got beat once, but it wasn't bad.
Right.
They played zone, but honestly, I think a lot of that zone was because the Patriots defense played 1 snap in the second half with the score being a 2-possession game, and that was the Cam Ward fumble. Most of the second half was like a 3-score game, so it's like I probably just play soft zone because the game's over.
Yeah, why not? Right. That's a good point.
I don't think you need to blitz this week. I think you just play like a lot of cover one man and just whoever that extra linebacker is or safety who's not tagged anything, just like have him be on the lookout for the screens or, put 8 in the box to stop the run. I don't think you need anything complex this week.
Yeah, I agree. You got anything else? I don't really have a ton of other notes on this.
It's not like this is one of those games where it's not really like question of who's better. It's just like, can you not trip up? And they have enough to trip you up. Like, again, the other nightmare scenario is just that your offensive line gets overwhelmed. And it's like, all right, you're in a scenario where all the tricks you've pulled through 7 weeks to keep May clean aren't working anymore because the other guys are just too good. Right.
And that's what, and again, it all stemmed back to the Browns defense. Yeah. Can you score enough points against the Browns defense? Can you stop their front four? And again, they have good, as you said, the back end is good. And so, is Drake May going to get fooled a few times? And, Jim Schwartz is a bad head coach, but a really good defensive coordinator. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, can you, not make mistakes, drive the ball down the field a few times, score enough points to win the game, and then just get out of there with the victory and move on to next week against the Falcons.
Is this the bad head coach, good coordinator bowl?
Probably is. Yeah, Josh McDaniels v. Jim Schwartz. I mean, there's a lot of them, but
it's going to be a coordinator.
Two of them definitely qualify for sure. Neither of them will ever be a head coach ever again. I can't imagine anyone's ever going to hire Jim Schwartz ever again as a head coach. And I don't think McDaniels ever wants to be a head coach again at this point. And I don't think anyone will hire him either. And so
we'll see. NFL teams get desperate, man.
That's very true.
If May plays like this for like 5 seasons, the team's going to be like, But you know that meme from Arrested Development? Where it's like,
I sure do.
It didn't work for them, but it might work for us.
It could. Yeah.
People delude themselves into thinking it'll be different for them, but
very true.
It might work for us. That's every NFL team with any head coach that has not worked out the first time.
That's which, to
be fair, worked with Bill Belichick in New England. I thought that was going to work after his first stint.
That's very true.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, that'll be interesting. I worry about like Mason Graham against Jared Wilson.
Me too.
Because we talk about Myles Garrett, but the real issue might just be, okay, well, if Myles Garrett's getting the attention, Mason Graham's also really good. And if you can't, like the strength of this Browns defense is their run defense.
Yeah.
And it's, what's that? It's like coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb is their run defense against their running offense. Right? Yeah. It's going to be one-dimensional right off the bat.
Yep.
Remember those, I forget which game it was, but a couple of those 0-3 Pats games were like the first drive of the game. They go out there 5 wide and just throw it the entire time. I wonder if you do that here. Like they did that. They did that the 0-4 opener. Corey Dillon's the big offseason acquisition. He doesn't even go on the field the first drive.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
They just spread the ball out the whole time. I wonder if you do something like that here because they're going to stop your run. Idea. Everyone knows you're not going to be able to run on them. Both sides know it. So give them something funky as a pass look.
Yeah, and if you can come out and chuck the ball down the field like that could make a huge difference. And then all of a sudden, again, you're moving the ball down the field, and when you're moving the ball down the field, you're all set. It's you score, like we say, you score 1 or 2 touchdowns, and the game's over.
Well, just like make them put, I don't know. No, like knowing that, like if you can get them to take off one of their linebackers and put on a corner, I feel better about my odds with whatever that. Even if it's like just one of our receivers against one of their corners, like I feel better about that matchup. I think.
Yeah.
So maybe this is one of those like you don't see a lot of like 10 personnel where it's 1 running back and 4 receivers. I don't know if you want to do that here, but like, could you do? I don't even know what the notation would be. Could you just put 3 wide receivers and the 2 tight ends out there?
Yeah, you could.
We're not even going to try to run. We're putting all passing guys out there, and good luck.
Yeah, and keep one of the tight ends in the block.
Have them
keep both the tight ends in the block. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter.
Or you're going to have 1 running back out there, and it's going to be Ramondre Stevenson the whole game, and he's just going to block.
Right. Yep. So
I was going back to the tape last week real quick. Ramondre Stevenson's such a good blocker. Like
Yeah.
it's because there were some blocks with Trevion Henderson where you see it. He had one in New Orleans. Was it New Orleans? No.
yes.
Buffalo. We won in New Orleans, but I think it also won in Buffalo on the long pass to Diggs down the sideline. He
Okay.
blocked the guy that blitzes and allows me to roll out. It's like,
Yes.
oh, this is a good Henderson block. This is improvement from him. And then you watch Stevenson after, and it's like, oh yeah, he still has a bit because right now the good Henderson blocks are ones where he's like stunning a guy when he blitzes or whatever, but then the guy wins and you're not able to sustain the block at all. Like Ramondre Stevenson takes guys, he'll block a guy for like a second or two and actually sustain that block and give May another beat to read things out. And there's a real difference there. I think there was a Greg Bedard report today that some of the coaches just don't trust Trevion Henderson yet, which I would believe based on the usage.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know how you could watch him play and trust him. I just don't. I mean, are we watching the same games? If you're trusting him, are we watching the same games? You know. So.
And I will say, a couple different results here in the early season, and I think we'd be talking differently because your second round pick can't get on the field right now over a guy who can't stop fumbling. Your third round pick, better than Jalen Bulk last year, but like his not
still
a lot of
good.
production. Yeah, not a lot of production there. Jared Wilson's playing, and I think getting better. And he's like I thought last week was very up and down, but there were some very good moments from him. But like he's better than Leighton Robinson, but mixed bag. And then Craig Woodson's fun. Got beat for a touchdown last week. You've got a Farmer I like. Braden Swinson didn't make the team. Oh, if we want to end on a real note here, I'm a little bit concerned about Julian Ashby as the long snapper. Patriots almost got a punt blocked last week. I didn't think their special teams were very good across the board, but like Ashby, I think he missed a block and almost got a punt blocked because of that. And he had another penalty. He has 2 penalties this year as a long snapper.
You never want to see that. Never want to see that.
That's like, all right, what are we doing here? You have one job. You have 1.5 jobs on the field. Snap the ball at the right time, and then the other one is going to be just try to block someone a little bit.
Just get in someone's way.
Yeah, and there was a play where Titans got a free runner right up the middle. I don't know how he didn't block it. I think he came up like an inch short. And it was just like the guys. Ashby doesn't touch anyone, and the other 2 guys both block the same guy.
Right.
It's Mapu, and I forget who the other guy involved it. Maybe Chasen. And
either way, it's you gotta make that play. So
I don't know if that's Ashby, but like I was like, all right. So in another world where they're not beating these awful teams, I think we'd be looking at this draft class a little bit more critically. But it hasn't mattered so far, so that's fine.
Yeah, and we'll see. And they have some time to develop, and there are guys that are playing well ahead of the guys that are And again, Ramondre's not necessarily playing well, but it does take a year in this McDaniel system. It does take a year to figure things out, and so I'm not worried about Trevion Henderson right now. Next year, if he comes in and I still don't see anything, then I'm going to be really worried about Trevion Henderson.
I am worried about him right now only because you lost Antonio Gibson. So, like, you kind of do need Henderson to give something this year.
Sorry, I agree with you. Yeah.
What Ramondre Stevenson did last week was awesome. He looked really good. He's just not going to be that guy every week. We know that now. He's streaky. He fumbles the ball. He's going to give you a couple of games like that every year, a couple of games where he's unplayably bad, and a lot of other ones where he's just fine. And
I agree. That's a good point.
It'd be nice to have another back there who you're like, all right, this is not one of Ramondre's days. We're going to give the other guy more run. Which Gibson was really good for, but
hopefully he'll figure it out. That's all you can hope for, right?
And no better opportunity than the next game.
That's correct.
How it is.
Yep. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us, I think.
We did not hit the over.
Look at that. Didn't hit the over today. Oh, my goodness. Maybe we're throwing games like Terry Rozier. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate it. We'll be back Sunday night breaking down this game. Hopefully a win for the Patriots. They can crawl to 6-2 and remain atop the AFC East. Pretty wild. So, but yeah, hopefully it's a good game. Hope everyone enjoys. Be good to each other and go Pats.